and here we are live at the 2021 Heavyweight Chewly Championship review. We just watched two incredible battles. We observed Spinosaurus come out strong and take down Tyrannotitan in a 54 to 46% matchup. So close for Tyrannotitan. We also observed Tyrannosaurus come out and beat Giganotosaurus 60% to 40%. Once we combined all of our votes on Facebook with the votes on Instagram, plus we had to do a manual count because for the first time ever, we got spammed. A whole bunch of bots showed up out of nowhere and only voted for Tyrannotitan and didn't even vote on the other card. It was crazy. So that was disappointing to see. So we had took a long time to manually count them, and in the end, we have a repeat of last year's championship finals. Spinosaurus, number 2 seed, T-Rex, number 1 seed. But let's talk about the individual battles first. Spinosaurus versus Tyrannotitan. I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I called Spinosaurus a star power, but there's some big animals out there throwing down. Dinosaurs brought the mouth, brought the power there, but in the end, the public voted for the Spinosaurus. What do you guys think about in the real world? What would have happened should they have met? Because there were Spinosaurs in South America around the time that there were Dinosaurs, so it's likely that they would have fought one another there at some point.
So, even though there are South American Spinosaurs, it's not Spinosaurus. I mean, you have those South American puny little Spinosaurs, okay? This is nothing compared to Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus, just like what we see with T-Rex, is the end of the line for this big dominant group of animals. So it's like comparing a cat with a lion, almost. You can't compare the two almost. Yes, they aren't the same animal, but one's just super outdone compared to the other. This is what we see with Spinosaurus in this case. Yes, it can take on a large dinosaur like we see in the previous rounds with dinosaurs. But I said this earlier in the earlier brackets is that we're seeing heavyweights take on, but like what we are seeing now in the lightweight division, it's agility. Spinosaurus is pretty agile. It's an agile animal. It has that long tail. It has that long snout and those really long conical teeth. And do I mention the long claws as well? So agility may be the year. Agility may be the year. But at the same time, I did want Tyrannotitan to win. I did want him to win. Because if we're gonna go off of statistics, I mean, it was close. And I think in real life it would have been close. I think it would have been a close battle. But at the end of the day, again, Spinosaurus is a different animal than what an animal like Tyrannotitan is definitely used to going up against.
Yeah, I mean, like Tyrannotitan, he's going up against some big prey animals, but they don't fight back like Spinosaurus. I think Aiden's right. I expected Tyrannotitan to win in a real world scenario. I think these numbers would be inverted. I think we'd see about 50-60% of the time Tyrannotitan would win and Spinosaurus wouldn't. But I don't think we're far off. I think we've got the wisdom of the public kind of showing through here. And I think this was a good matchup going in, and I think it would be good to watch it again. Although I do think Tyrannotitan would most of the time have the edge.
I'm going to echo both of you there. In real life, I think the Tyrannotitan wins 60, maybe even 70% of the time. You just can't discount the Dinosaurs' chomping power. It's a balanced animal. But you're right. The Spinosaurus does have range. It's got the massive bite reach of the long snout. It's got the big slashing claws on the long arms. Folks believe it lumbered. I don't think it did. I think it was mobile. It could perfectly get up on 2 legs and slash and thrash, as well as use that tail. I know a lot of the feedback we've received is people challenging us in using the tail as a weapon. But I think it's defensible. And in the other matchup, we had T-Rex versus Giganotosaurus. And I was super excited for this matchup. And once we hand counted it, the public went 60-40 with T-Rex. That may be the real world odds too. The mighty, massive bite, one punch power of T-Rex, but Giganotosaurus well balanced as well. It would have been truly the battle. And in some ways, I've had some people say this was our championship round, regardless of who advanced on the other side. Giganotosaurus, T-Rex, the two titans of their era throwing down. And the fact that individuals took the time to spam us and give Giganotosaurus another 600 artificial votes. It was crazy to see. The public got passionate on this one.
That's the cool thing, though, isn't it? I mean, like 10 years ago, would anybody have cared about Giganotosaurus enough for bots?
No.
It's cool. People are getting a chance to get exposed to and learn about dinosaurs that are so far off the beaten path and so out of pop culture that's what's fun about this. I mean, it's annoying to have to sit there and hand count the votes, but somebody cared that much. And I'm as somebody who's devoted his life to dinosaurs, I'm a little flattered by it. I think that's awesome. I can't do it anymore.
I agree with the spam bots. I actually am siding with the spam bots. I think they actually know what will happen in real life. But, I mean, that's just me, though. I mean, I love Giganotosaurus, and as you see in the past rounds, I love Carcharodontosaurus, and I'm rooting for them a lot. Again, like I said earlier, in the early brackets, I put weight on it. And, well, I mean, yes, T-Rex is heavy. But if we're going by average weights now, we can see Giga being a little bit heavier. So in that case, Giga technically could have won if we're talking about weight. But I mean, again, you cannot just T-Rex is called the king of the dinosaurs for a reason. Both from a scientific standpoint and a pop culture standpoint. I mean, everyone just knows T-Rex. You ask a 5-year-old kid what their favorite dinosaur is. I field tested this. Okay, I have field tested this. 90% of them say T-Rex. So likeliness is of course Giganotosaurus does have a chance, in my opinion. All Carcharodontosaurs have a chance in all the battles we've seen. But again, pop culture is just definitely rose T-Rex to the top.
I think it'd actually be really cool going back to our last fight to see Tyrannotitan going up against Giganotosaurus. I think that would be a fun match. Like if there was like an exhibition match somewhere, that would be something fun to sit down to. Because I mean, we know that Rex just has some firepower there. But yeah, I think just in terms of weight, I don't know how many street fights you guys have been in, but weight counts for something. So I'm glad people were this excited about Giganotosaurus.
Yeah, I was shocked at the spamming and the bots. I had never seen anything like it. I don't know how to stop it. So lessons learned are people are passionate about this kind of item. And I do believe that we've also had a number of comments come in about weight and the weights we ascribe them. And what I want to tell everyone is look at a bell curve. Look at the average alligator or elephant weight, and then look at the extremes. Look at humans. The average weight's $175, but the heaviest pushed 1,000 pounds. Where on the spectrum, how many standard deviations do we want to go ahead and make these animals? And when you have a sample size of one fragmentary animal or two fragmentary animals, how do you even know weight? We got a lot of feedback on this new paper that came out on specific gravity and density. And first, I would caution people that paper just came out. Yes, it was peer reviewed. I've read it. I've thought about it. But let's wait and see what the rest of the community comes back with. Just because it's new doesn't make it right. Not saying it's wrong, but definitely there's a lot more to consider. I've noticed a bunch of people who immediately jumped on it and decided that it's the way of the future. Part two, I am really excited to talk about Spinosaurus versus Tyrannosaurus. It's a repeat of last year. Last year's battle, Spinosaurus lost soundly. I mean, it was Spinosaurus was trying to drag T-Rex into the water. We had a water option, and T-Rex bit Spinosaurus' snout just clean off. Bit it in two and ended Spinosaurus' reign. Attempted his challenge to a throne. I'll be very curious to see what happens this time around with Spinosaurus versus T-Rex. What do you guys think is going to win that one?
Rex. T-Rex.
I think T-Rex is going to win too, but we could see Spinosaurus getting lots of votes. I could see Spinosaurus getting some votes in. But again, I think T-Rex is just gonna slaughter it.
So we'll stay tuned and come back to you guys in a few days to see what the public votes for who are the weight class chomps. Right now, I think the three of us are calling T-Rex to take it, and we're calling Utah Raptor for two of us, and one of us didn't vote. Jay.
I refuse. I'm going to abstain. I'm a bit of subversive malcontent. I'm going to sit this one out. I don't anything. Okay, this is a phrase we use all the time here at the museum. If I told you anything, I'd just be making it up.
But it's always a pleasure, lads. We'll do it all again here in a couple hours when we find out what the public votes. I'm going to throw up the next one. I think is in a day or two. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, thank you all kindly. It's a great pleasure.
You too. Thanks a lot, guys.
Adios.